What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video. So in this video I'm going to be addressing a question that I get a ton, and I've gotten a ton from you guys lately. And that question is, LOJO, what is in your everyday tackle box? You know, what is like the one box that has every single lure in it that you would use any given day? So I decided this morning, I was packing up some fishing gear, getting ready to go fishing, and I said, you know what? We're gonna do this. We're gonna take one tackle box, and I'm just gonna throw every single lure in it that I would need to have. So if I only had one tackle box and I was going out to fish all day, this is what that tackle box would look like. So let's dive right into what is actually in the tackle box. And then I'm also going to show you guys some clips of me using these techniques, actually fishing, catching some fish, or trying to catch fish on the lures and stuff, and the techniques I'm gonna show you. There we go, guys. This is the magical, this is the magical tackle box that you guys have been just dying to know what I have in there. And I don't want to disappoint you guys, but it's a pretty basic little tackle box here. All right, so let's use that box to prop it up a little bit. There we go. This is a much better view. So I'm just gonna start in no particular order. You know, the one thing you guys gotta understand is this box is seasonal specific. So it is springtime right now. It's April, so that's kind of that's the theme that I'm going with here. So we got a little underspin right here. If you guys have never used this, it's a very cool little bait. You know, use a little paddle tail swim bait on the bottom of it. And just a good little search bait. It's a good thing to cover water. It can get down to some deep water. This one's pretty heavy. It's like a ½ ounce. Got the little blade right there. One of my favorite baits of all time. Let's dive right into the top water lure, because you know you have to have a top water lure with you at all times, because you just never know when you're going to need it. This is like a Yozuri popper or something. I don't even know what the brand is, but it looks like a Yozuri. I chose a popper because you can do a lot of different things with it. Popper is very versatile. Obviously you can just pop it like bloop, bloop on top of the water, but the ones like this, they're long, you can still walk the dog with them, so you can make them go back and forth, back and forth. Both of those motions, the popping and the walking the dog, are both really good motions in the springtime. But one thing that I really love about this is you can work it fast, but actually you're working it slowly. And let me explain. Even if you're working it back and forth really quickly, it's not moving vertically, or it's not moving towards you very fast. It's just moving erratically side to side, but it's staying in that strike zone longer. So I do like that aspect of it. Next, we got a couple more search baits here. We got a rattle trap. So just like a literal rattle trap, like a 3/8 ounce silver, straight up old school lipless crankbait. Right next to it, we have the square bill, which this particular one is H2O Express from a previous video, but it's a flat sided square bill. Real small, really like the color. I mean, you know, straight up bone or shad, whatever you want to call it. That one's chrome. Guys, colors are going to be dependent on two things. Just to interject real quick, colors, you know, that's the big like debate with people is colors. You know, well, oh, this color works best. Well, this color works best. Well, there's a lot of different factors that go into that. I mean, one, what's your water clarity like? If your water's clear, you don't want to be throwing like a black worm, you know what I mean? If your water is dirty, you may not want to be throwing a green pumpkin, a supernatural color. You may want to be throwing a black or a white or something like that. So that's the first thing I think about is water clarity. Second thing is, what are the fish's main forage? What are they eating? Are they eating crawfish? Are they eating worms? Are they eating bait fish? These are all very important things. And although one lure can imitate multiple things, like a square bill can imitate a bait fish and a crawfish, but that's where your color choice comes in. If they're feeding heavily on craw, then you need to be throwing a red or a dark red or a dark brown, something like that to imitate that crawfish. If they're feeding heavily on shad, then obviously it's the exact opposite. You want to be throwing white, 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 everything white. So just a little bit of, you know, a little bit of color conversation for you guys. Moving on, we have some of my favorite lures of all time, so I'm going to take them both out. We have chatterbaits right here, guys. This is obviously a black and blue chatterbait, but notice the trailer difference, okay? We got a white one right here, and we've got a black and blue one. So on the white one, I typically like to have some type of a swim bait trailer. In this case, it's like a Zoom super swimming fluke or something like that, but a paddle tail swim bait. Oh God, I burped. But for the black and blue, I like to go with the opposite. I like to go with a crawl. This is a Guggenbait's Kraken Crawl. So, I mean, you know, those are just little things that somebody like me, I'm a firm believer. I'm white, I like to make a bait fish, imitate a bait fish. Dark color, I want to imitate that swimming crawl, or even like a bluegill. This can imitate a bluegill really well. Both of those work really well in dirty water too, which is what I fish quite a bit. Got a little jerk bait right here. This is just a shallow running jerk bait. It's not a deep diving jerk bait, but it's a really basic concept, guys. If you're having a hard time getting a bite right here, this needs to be in your tackle box. I know they're not that sexy to throw. They're kind of a pain to throw. Ah! As I hook myself in the hand, that thing has some good hooks. But if you're needing a bite, this is what you need to be throwing right here, guys. I mean, they just trigger strikes. They work in clean water. They work in dirty water. I mean, just an all-around great bait. Now we got some spinner baits over here. And as you can see, I have a few different kinds and a few different colors because, like I said earlier, that matters. So if I'm fishing super clear water, I'm throwing the natural one all day. I mean, that's a natural color right there. It's like a bluegill or a brim pattern. Gotta love that. If the water is dirtier, I'll either go with a color change, like a white and a chartreuse to help it show up better, or I'll just throw a bigger spinnerbait with a bigger, louder blade. This is a Colorado blade as opposed to the willow leaf blade. This thing puts off one heck of a vibration, and the fact that the spinnerbait is black, that helps give it some more profile in the water. Finally, we have some big swim baits, and guys, do not underestimate the power of the big swim bait in the springtime. This thing right here, dragging this across a bass's bed, that bass is going to demolish this thing. I know it's big, it's a little intimidating to throw, but you just guys gotta trust me. Same with this bluegill one right here. This one might even be better because a bluegill on a bass bed, bass is not gonna allow that to happen. The last thing they want is a bluegill poking around their bed. So both of those big swim baits can be very effective in the springtime. I also have my little terminal tackle box, but I'm not going to go through everything in here because that would just be the most boring video on YouTube. What I am going to show you is a couple different techniques that, I mean, you guys just need to know. First, you have your Texas rig, guys. Here's how I do it, and there's a million ways to do it. None of them are wrong, okay? This is a 3/0 extra wide gap hook, little 3/16 ounce Woo tungsten weight right there, and that's it right there. I mean, I may peg the weight. And a peg, for you guys that don't know, is this little thing right there. It's a little bobber stop, but it's to keep the bullet weight from sliding on the line. So you may want to incorporate that if you're fishing a really grassy area. But there's my Texas rig. Next one is going to be the Nico rig, guys. That's where this little nail weight comes in. The nail weight goes in the head of your worm or whatever creature that you're going to be rigging. And this is going to go right through the back of it like a wacky rig type deal. I'm going to show you guys all of this stuff in action in the rest of this video. So guys, there you go. I mean, I hope you're not disappointed, but that is literally what my box is gonna look like this time of year. So I'm gonna keep it super simple. I don't wanna have too many baits with me ever, because that just confuses me. And a guy like me, I'm a rookie fisherman. I really don't know that much about fishing. I'm learning as I go, and I don't wanna confuse myself. Even that right there is too many options for me. But now that I've shown you guys kind of what's in my tackle box, I'm gonna throw it back to a couple hours ago when I was using these lures, trying to catch bass, trying to apply all the stuff that I just told you guys. And it went okay. Check it out. Guys, if there was ever a time and conditions to throw a chatterbait, then this is it. We got overcast, we got a little bit of chop on the water, just a little bit, and I just spooked a fish out of here, so that's good with my loud voice. But also you could use a spinnerbait in this situation. The only reason I'm going to use the chatterbait is because this water is a little bit cleaner than the water that I like to throw a spinnerbait in. So let's give it a whirl. Oh, I just saw a bass right here kind of following in, but I could be going crazy. All right, well, no luck with the chatterbait. So that tells me a couple different things. It tells me that there's something wrong with this bait, right? Like they're not digging what I'm throwing right now. Could be too big, might be too loud, might not be loud enough, might be the wrong color. So we have to take all that into consideration. Let's head back to the tackle box and make some adjustments. All right, so let's see. The chatterbait's not working, so we're gonna have to get rid of that. I'm also going to rig up my spinning gear. I'm going to get myself a little finesse worm going on the little Nico rig that we talked about earlier. And I think that might be a good way to find them in a real natural color, real small, little slim shake worm. Natural color, boom. But what are we going to put for our moving bait? What do you guys think? Give me your opinion. I want to throw the big swim baits today, but we're not going to throw them until we at least get a bite here. Spinnerbait, I just think that's going to be too loud and obnoxious, like the chatterbait was. I'm thinking either jerkbait, lipless, or square bill. Let's go with the square bill first. I think it's a little bit of a smaller profile than the chatterbait, obviously. It's more compact. It's a flat-sided one too, so it doesn't have a whole lot of action to it, but that mimics a bait fish really well. We're gonna work through the exact same area with these new lures and see just how many fish were actually here that we just couldn't catch the first time around. Oh my God, a fish just freaking swiped at it. Right there in front of me, I didn't even see the fish. I just saw him come out of that grass and swipe at it. Holy moly. That was crazy. Dang, why didn't he eat it? Oh my God. Oh man, that was a bite right there, guys. That was a bite. Didn't get hooked though. Right on the edge of that grass. Man, we're having some really good reaction to the square bill so far. Put it right back along this grass edge. Guys, that was a bite. As surely as I have been born before, that was a bite. He just didn't get hooked. The wind has really died in the last 20 minutes or so. That's really kind of, in my opinion, that's really hurting the moving bait bite. So let's throw the old Nico rig around a little bit. Just kind of see if anybody's home. Jeez. Oh God, I do have a fish. God, first cast with the freaking Nico rig. You gotta be kidding me. Wow. Jeez. You guys see why people go finesse? I mean, it took me a long time to come around, but geez. Over here, walking around every single pond out here, throwing chatterbait, square bill, and the first cast with the Nico rig. Look at that. He ate it too. Not a big fish, but that's a start. Check out that scar on my dude right there. Good looking little fish though. Okay, so the Nico rig is working. You can't even make this up, guys. These fish, they're so moody. So moody. Okay, so that's a good sign, I guess. There are fish here. I took out my slack because I threw kind of like a spinning bird's nest. You guys use spinning gear know what I'm talking about. Just kind of getting out a little wind knot. And took my slack out. My dang line was running. It's freaking going. Couldn't believe it. I was actually pretty shocked. Guys, never underestimate the power of finesse fishing. I'm telling you, I have never wanted to do it. I just started using the Nico rig like a couple months ago, but that's exactly what'll happen when you pick it up. Having a hard time getting a bite, pick up your finesse, set up your little fairy wand, as I call it, and do some work. Oh my goodness, there's a good bass right here, guys. Right here in the shallows. Oh God, what was that? I hooked a dang bluegill. Are you joking me? Dude, what are you thinking? And we just scared the big bass right out of there. Yeah, get back in the water, you fool. Come here first, now I wanna see you. Oh, it's a rock bass. You ever seen these before, guys? Little rock bass? It's like a mix between a largemouth and a bluegill or something. It's a weird looking little fish. So I saw a big largemouth right there. So I dropped my Nico rig right in there and let it sit. I felt a bite. I was like, wait a second. And it was this little joker. You gotta be joking me. And in the process, we scared the 3-pound bass that was just sitting there. Scared him right on out of there. So that's good. Come on, bro. Help me out. He tore up my worm. Dang it. Okay. Well, that was fun. Dang it. Got a bass looking at my trench hog. He's still there. I think the size of the lure kind of scared him a little bit. See, we need one about twice his size to come along and just annihilate the old hoggy trench. Got another little bass interested in my trench hog, but like the other one, I think he may be a little intimidated. Not a very big bass, mind you. Probably a pound or less. Okay, so we got some interest. You know what I'm starting to see though? The fish are a little bit more shallow, consistently shallow. So that's gonna help us locating them and maybe catching them. I got a fish on there. You got to be joking me. Wow. I cast in there. I had a bird's nest I was dealing with. You little rascal. You know, that's twice. That is twice that I've caught one on a soft plastic lure. First one was a Nico rig. Second one was on the trench hog. But that's the second time that I've caught one where I cast it out and then it just sat there. You know, because I had a bird's nest both times. So that's very interesting. Very interesting. As far as like establishing a pattern, you know? I mean, if that's if that's the pattern, cast it shallow, let it sit. Literally just let it sit. Let's just see what happens if we just don't work it. We just literally let it sit there. Because that's what happened right there. It's time to pull out the big guns. If we're gonna not get a bite, we're gonna not get a big bite. You guys would be shocked at how many small bass I've caught on the big swim bait like this. Like little 2-pounders will hit this thing. People are very intimidated by big swim baits, and I was for a long time, but then I caught a small bass on it one day and I was just like, oh, so they will hit it. Oh. Let's get it out there in that deep water. These big females have not moved up yet. Because of that, we need to target some of this deep water that's kind of near spawning areas. God, there's a giant turkey right there. Good God. Turkey better not start chasing me. I will slap him with a fishing rod. Well, that was one of the weirdest interactions I've ever had with another human being while fishing. The guy literally pulled up right behind me. I asked if I was in his way because I thought maybe he was just trying to drive past me. He said no. Then he literally just, oh, is it a fish? No, I'm snagged. Oh my God. Oh, I thought that was a 10-pounder. There goes my big swim bait. God. I would have loved to have caught a 10-pounder right in front of that guy though. Okay, that's definitely not a fish. Yeah, so then he just sat there and watched me fish for like 5 minutes. I mean, just didn't say a word. God. I swear, there are some folks out there. I mean, I don't mind talking if you want to come and talk and ask me about if am I catching them or not, but he just sat there. He just sat there watching me. I'm about to have to break this swim bait off, and it really hurts my heart to do it. Oh God, there it goes. All right, well, so big swim bait is no more. Got Mr. Turkey over here yelling at me. I got people just pulling up on me, like not wanting to talk, just wanting to watch me. Oh man, this has been one heck of a day, guys. Look at this guy doing the dance of his people over here. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Oh God, look, he puffed up. Look at him. Dude, what the world? Is he trying to mate, guys, or what's up? Where are you turkey experts at? Help me out here. What is he doing? Well, guys, I am signing off. I've got a turkey yelling at me. Just weird things are happening right now. So, yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Many more to come, of course. And you guys keep on commenting things that you want to see, and I will do them. This video came from several comments from you guys. So just tell me what you guys want to see, and I will end up doing it, I promise you. Also get in that comment section and give us some thoughts on your lure choices. What lures are in your tackle box right now? What are you throwing this time of year? That's the important thing on these videos, is for the comment section to be flooded with your guys' input and tips. That's how we all learn stuff. So get in that comment section right now. Also, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, guys. I know a lot of you guys already know that, and you probably already do that, and you're probably all subscribed, and you're just the best subscribers ever. That's why I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm getting out of here. On to the next fishing adventure. Fist bump. I'm out.